stars are calling the director, my guy's not in enough scenes. And then the director or the coach, Steve Nash, is kind of walking on eggshells. He doesn't want to offend any of the stars. And then, the stars control a little bit too much of the script, a little too much ad-libbing. That's what it kind of feels like. When LeBron, Wade, and Bosh played together, 3 stars. And by the way, Bosh was a 26-12 guy. Like, he was a star. He was the best basketball player, certainly not in America at the time. Okay, he was in Canada. There was an order to things. LeBron late, D. Wade's a 2, and Bosh was a 3. It was understood. By the way, Wade has never been ball-centric. Bosh isn't ball-centric. And LeBron's always been a very willing elevator of others and passer. Try telling Kyrie, hey, you're a 3rd. Excuse me? Right now, I'm not sure you can convince him the world has a curve. Kareem Magic Worthy. There was an order to things. Kareem, the big fella, was the bucket late. Magic controlled the tempo. James Worthy was the wing guy and a 3rd. KG was the alpha. Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, who had aged. You get an order. Listen, KD is already played. Now, a lot of people were concerned when Kevin Durant went to Golden State. And I was like, I'm not sure how that's going to work, but it became very clear early. I didn't think it would work as well, but you figured something out really quickly. Steph had the self-awareness to step back and go, KD had taken the big shots late. He's harder to defend than me. Steph controlled the tempo, 2nd guy in the pecking order to take shots, and Klay Thompson, a very willing catch-and-shoot guy, if those 2 got tangled up. You've got to have an order to things, and this looks like a great movie poster, but not much of a movie. And again, I'd love to listen to the huddle with 20 seconds left in a tie game against the Celtics, who Kyrie used to play for, and the coach, Steve Nash, walks in and goes, Kyrie, you're a decoy on this. How's that going to play? He wants to get back at the Celtics. I don't. KD played with somebody that was ball-centric. It was called Russell Westbrook, and he would get the ball too late in the shot clock. He didn't like it. Now he's going to play with 2 guys that are incredibly ball-centric. And so to me, it just screams rookie head coach, walking on eggshells, trying to do a balancing act, not really doing what's best for the team, but one night KD gets the big shot, the next it's Harden, then you got to make sure, Kyrie's in a right space mentally, he's okay. That's walking on eggshells. That's not how you make a great movie. I don't think it's how you make a great basketball team. I do think it would be fun. They'd have amazing nights. It's great for my business. I'm rooting for it. I think it's great. But in terms of, is it a championship team? We've been all watching this league for a long time. We know it's just not players. The Miami Heat the Heatles were very flawed. They had no true center. They weren't great at point guard. They were a lousy rebounding team. But it was the order of things. And Dwayne Wade very quickly was like, oh, I get it. It may be Wade County, but I'm the 2 here. On some nights, if Bosh is hot, I'm the 3. And when Golden State, KD, I thought it would be problematic. KD, Steph, and Klay. But Steph Curry, very early on, even in the recruiting pitch, said, no, bro, you get the last shot. You're the best scorer in the world. There's got to be an order to stuff, or it's just you put the coach in this untenable walking on eggshell situation. Now, again, for me, I am rooting for this. I'm all in. Frankly, I'll talk about it later. I don't know if it's good for the league. It's good. It's good for us. I don't know if it's good for the league, but it's good for my eyes when Brooklyn's on. That I know and that I like. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Well, the Bucks are reportedly finalizing a trade with the Pelicans for guard Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
The deal would send Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, and 3 future first-round picks to New Orleans, and also includes 2 additional draft pick swaps. Holiday is a 2-time All-Defensive Team honoree and has averaged at least 19 points in each of his last 3 seasons.
I've always liked him.
He's a great player and a great teammate. And this is Milwaukee trying to make an effort to keep Giannis. So this is a good move for them.
Yeah, I don't. Again, we're getting to a point now. I think it's easier, and I think people have come around to it. Joy in the NBA, the GMs have come around to it. It's one thing to give up a top 3 draft pick. But if Milwaukee's going to be too good to get good draft picks. So you give up a 29th draft pick. Who cares? Like, Drew Holiday is better guaranteed than the next 3 29th draft picks. So Bottom line, let's win now and reward the fans in Milwaukee.
And let's try and do our best to convince Giannis that we're making active moves to improve the roster so he stays there and doesn't leave for Miami.
Yeah. I've always been a Drew Holiday fan. He plays defense.
Drew Holiday's a great player. He's a great defender.
Yeah.
He's a great teammate. This is a big upgrade for them. They also are reportedly going to do a sign and trade for the Kings' Bogdanovic.
All right.
So they'll send Dante DiVincenzo, Ersan Ilyasova, and DJ Wilson to Sacramento for Bogdanovic and Justin James. So they are making moves, which is what Giannis asked for. He said he's going to sit back and see what they do. Yeah. So they are actively trying to upgrade their roster.
It certainly makes
they need
Milwaukee,
to do because they've had colossal disappointments in the playoffs as of late.
Yeah, I mean, this morning I wake up and I'm like, oh, Milwaukee's better.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. Milwaukee's better today.
So Russell Wilson has struggled for the Seahawks lately, turning the ball over 7 times in the last 2 games. But Pete Carroll is confident that he is doing everything he can to clean up those mistakes.
Russ would tell you that he always tries hard. He tries as hard as he can. But there is a point in there where you can feel like, if I don't do something here, maybe it won't happen. And that's when over-trying does take place. Russ is busting his ass to play for this football team. And he's doing everything he can. And I would never, ever think twice about anything but that. But that doesn't mean that he can't fall prey to it, too. He'll come back and he'll be great.
He will.
Well, whose fault is it that he's over-trying?
Okay, yeah. It's interesting. Listen. I've said this yesterday, so I don't want to go into it again. Like, what does Seattle do well? And everything that is connected to Russell is always really good. But outside of that, if it's not connected to Russell, game to game, you don't know what you're getting. So is it a defensive philosophy? A lot of people want Ken Norton Jr., the defensive coordinator. They're like done with it. Pete has been historically pretty loyal to certain assistants, like a lot of coaches are.
Right.
I think there's a feeling around some people up in Seattle. He's been too loyal to Ken Norton, and that he needs to make a change there and go get a young DC or whatever. So we'll see how it plays out. But I'll tell you this. Even look at their draft picks. The draft picks that aren't connected to Russell Wilson have been very hit and miss.
Well, they're in a very interesting position now after that loss because they're now on a short week. They play the Cardinals on Thursday, who they just lost to.
This is one of the biggest Thursday night football games I remember. This is a huge Thursday night football game on Fox.
This is a must-win for the Seahawks.
There's total urgency.
Yes. I mean, they have to. They're now 3rd place in the division. They can't lose to the Cardinals twice. This is a really, really big game. I mean, the turnover is obviously an issue for Russell Wilson, but like Pete Carroll said, he's over-trying because that's all he can do. Like, he has to over-try. He's the last line defense for this team. So Drew Brees will miss some time after suffering multiple rib fractures and a collapsed right lung. The most optimistic timetable for his return is 2 to 3 weeks, but the Saints are preparing for it to be a bit longer. Brees is trying to remain positive about his situation. He posted a picture on Instagram with his 3 children tending to him with the caption, "Who Dat Nation, I got the best medical team in the world. We'll be back in no time," which is very cute. And he's using that breathing exercise machine. He has a total of 5 fractured ribs.
Oh, jeez.
And 3 of the broken ribs actually came the week prior against the Bucks. So he appeared to be injured midway through the second quarter after the sack, and it's 2 weeks feels aggressive for this.
Oh, God, no. And by the way, if Jameis beats Atlanta and Denver, why would you bring Brees back? Just keep playing Jameis. As long as you're winning,
until he's 100%.
Just keep playing Jameis Winston.
Well, that's why they were lucky with Teddy Bridgewater last year. So that's, we'll have to see. I'm very interested to see what Jameis does.
I'll tell you this.
They didn't become less interesting.
No, I'll throw a theory at you. So Tom Brady has been the most consistent quarterback of my lifetime.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Tom goes to Tampa, and in 10 weeks, he's been terrible 3 times, mediocre twice, and great 5 times. So why did he get inconsistent? Is Bruce Arians' style create that? So the knock on Jameis is he's talented, but boy, he's inconsistent. Was Jameis the kid who's he likes risk, and the coach is also a proponent of higher risk throws. So Arians and Jameis were actually a bad fit. Sean Payton is much more efficient, New England, detail-oriented. Right. Is he actually a perfect fit? Because I think my knock on Jameis out of college was a little immature and a little loose.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Bruce Arians
is a little loose.
A little loose. So we thought Arians is great for Jameis. Could I make the argument what Jameis really needs is a Sean Payton or a Josh McDaniels?
He needs more balance.
Lower risk. So I think we'll see how it plays out, but I would not be shocked. I mean, Jameis is more talented than Teddy Bridgewater, and at this point, Drew Brees in terms of talent. I think this could actually be very interesting for New Orleans.
I'm fascinated to see how it works out. They have the Falcons twice. It's the Falcons at home, then at the Broncos, then at the Falcons. Then hypothetically, if Drew Brees was ready, it would be at the Eagles, Chiefs, Vikings, and at the Panthers.
I would play Jameis until he loses. Like, if he won 3 straight, you get 4. 4 straight, 5. I just want Drew to get a couple of games before the playoffs. I would play Jameis throughout.
I mean, that's the most ideal. I mean, even if Jameis loses one, like that's the most ideal situation for them.
Yeah.
You want Drew Brees 100% for the playoffs. But this is an audition for Jameis Winston, possibly for the starting position for next year if Drew Brees retires.
Yeah, enjoy the news.
Well, that's